I was the knight in shining armor in your movie. Would put your lips on mine and love the aftertaste now. I'm a ghost, I call your name, you look right through me. You're the reason that I just can't
TSN 690. Weekend game plan. We're here till, let's say 9 o'clock. Play It Again radio show with Mitch Gallo coming up at that point. Habs breakfast just after 8 o'clock. That's coming up. 11690, the text box. We have some texts to read out. You're still delirious out there with the Habs win. I'm watching some highlights from baseball last night. I just noticed the Royals, the Kansas City Royals, are rocking gold-colored numbers on their jersey. That is amazing. How did it take them this long? Is that new for this year? How did it take them this long to do that? That is amazing.
Never seen that before.
Yeah, right? Amazing. Amazing. I love it. All right, let's get to the Amateur Sports Report.
Weekend Game Plan gets out into the community with Suburban Newspaper sports editor Mark Lidbetter and the Amateur Sports Report.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Great with the win last night. Good morning, Matthew, and good morning to everybody around the table.
Mark, are you ever in a bad mood? I'm trying to picture you angry.
No, I've always learned to be nice like that because sometimes when you're refereeing, you got to be nice to coaches who aren't.
That's right. You're a longtime referee, and that's where that demeanor comes from. Like when you swear, is it "gosh darn it" and that kind of language?
No, I've paid a couple of things out of the curse jar. My wife can attest to that.
You're so PG, Mark. I love it. All right, let's get to the report. Let's start with ringette, a sport that maybe doesn't get a lot of attention because more and more women are playing hockey.
Well, this weekend, the best ringette squads from Quebec, Ontario, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and PEI have taken over the rinks of the Pierrefonds Sportsplex since Thursday, and they're going for the Eastern Canadian Ringette Championships. Now, the categories, there's 4 of them, is the U14, U16, U19, and the Open Division, which is 18 and over. And if you could have seen the teams all at the opening ceremonies taking to the ice, the enthusiasm, waving the flags out there, rocking the rinks. They all had the cell phones going, recording. They were ready for this competition. I mean, it's a great fast-paced, passing sport. They use a 30-second shot clock like in basketball to make the play develop. So just some really great on-ice action. And actually on Thursday, before the games got started, they had an afternoon of skills competitions for all the competitors. And what happened with that is there is a gala tonight, 410 people, sold out, being held to raise funds for the sport. And the winners from that event are going to be presented with their prizes for the skills that they showed on Thursday. Now, tomorrow, it's Easter Sunday, but the teams aren't in an Easter egg hunt. They're in a hunt for championships, starting at 10 in the morning out at Pierrefonds Sportsplex. Now, representing Quebec in the divisions, you have Levi and Roussillon, which is on the South Shore in the U14. Saint-Eustache and Blainville will represent Quebec in U16 play. Gatineau and St. Hubert are in the U18 hunt, and Gatineau and Levi are in the 18 and up division looking to get an Eastern Canadian championship.
All right, elsewhere, sticking with ice, I should say, women's hockey news.
Yeah, the Hockey Feminine Dodge Cup provincial championships are up and running. They're being played up in the Sherbrooke area and are being hosted by the S3 region. Now, the teams are from Adam through Junior, and they're in single and double letter category. And serving as the honorary president for the event is Marie-Philippe Poulin from Team Canada. So the girls are going to get to see her at the different rinks and taking part. And every championship needs an underdog story, and you got to love this. In the Baname segment, you have the Westlake Wild from Beaconsfield, Point Claire, Dorval, who finished 7th overall out of 10 teams in the regular season. But after taking gold at the Sherbrooke National Tournament in February, they built on that momentum, went into the playoffs, won all 4 of their playoff games to win the League Interregional Feminine Hockey League title. And then they derailed the Lac St. Louis Express in the regional final for the honor to go to the Dodge Cup. So, I mean, just to make it there, seventh place team, you got to love it, and you got to pull for them.
All right, and finally, I like this story, Mark, on the basketball court.
Yeah, great sport. I mean, these teams, they really contested. And last weekend was the Canadian Wheelchair Basketball League National Championship. They were played out of the University of Quebec à Montréal's downtown sports complex. And coming out on top were the Gladiators de Laval. They seized the national crown with an 80-71 victory against the previously undefeated BC Royals. So through that tournament, BC hadn't faced a loss, and Laval handed it to them. Now that win marked Laval's return to the top of the podium since their previous championship title in 2013. And Paralympian David Eng led the Laval team with a tournament-high 30 points and 17 rebounds. Now, also during that weekend of play, Wheelchair Basketball Canada announced their award winners and Hall of Fame inductees, and there was some local honorees in those events. You had David Eng was tapped as the Male Athlete of the Year for his leadership on and off the basketball court. He was selected to lead the entire Canadian Paralympic team as the flag bearer at the opening ceremony in Rio. And Eng was a worthy selection as flag bearer thanks to his positive attitude, his passion for the sport, and his reputation as a well-respected and accomplished athlete. As co-captain of the senior men's national team, he inspired his teammates and Canadian fans throughout the Paralympic Games. Now, in the Hall of Fame, the inductees were Martin Talbot and Andre Ducharme out of Laval. Now, this duo had established the Gladiators de Laval back in 1978, and they could never have predicted the impact they would have within the wheelchair basketball community over the decades. Players, coaches, and board members, Talbot and Ducharme, that have dedicated over 30 years to wheelchair basketball. And since the inception of the Gladiators de Laval, they've been very active in growing the sport throughout community outreach by championing the sport as ambassadors within Quebec. So just great Hall of Fame nominees and much deserved.
Oh, indeed. I love that story. sports@thesuburban.com is the email address. If you want to get in touch with Mark, you have an item for the Suburban newspaper, which is out every Wednesday across the city, or for this program every Saturday at 7:50. Thank you so much, Mark.
My pleasure, and go Habs go.